Alright, this part's a little tricky because there's this crazy circular reasoning going on that I guess Brant Pitre doesn't recognize, but he's using the evidence of the New Testament Gospels to tell us how the New Testament Gospels got written, which, I mean, you're referring back to the same work, so like, I can write on a piece of paper, this is not a lie, and it can be a lie. So, anyways, actually that's a funny one, because either way it's not true. So, in recent decades, an enormous amount of work has been done by New Testament scholars on the question of what happened during the years between the life of Jesus and the writing of the Gospels. If we leave aside the imaginary scenario of an anonymous chain of storytellers and look instead at the actual evidence provided by the New Testament, so again, we're using the thing we're trying to prove the thing that we're trying to prove. The stages of development between Jesus and the Gospels can be outlined as follows. Basically, first was the life and teaching of Jesus. He had these students, and they were expected to remember and then teach. Then Jesus died. The students did remember and teach with skilled memories and rehearsed memories of the disciples, blah, blah, blah. And then there was the writing. Eventually, the evangelists wrote either what they had witnessed themselves or what was handed on to them by eyewitnesses. If this description of the following, and all this is using Bible verses as proof of this chain of events, which of course you would make up even later, right? So, first, Jesus' disciples were students who remembered what he did and what he said. Although nowadays we use the word disciple to refer to a believer, in the first century it literally meant student. Being a student in the ancient world was radically different from what it is like today, when it simply means that you may or may not listen to a 50-minute lecture 3 times a week for a semester. Being one of Jesus' students meant following him everywhere and listening to him all the time, for anywhere between 1 and 3 years. As the Gospels make clear, it also means remembering what he said. Again, we're referring to the thing we're trying to prove the thing. If we take seriously the evidence for the apostolic origins of the Gospels, then the 4 Gospels are not based on the memories of just anybody. They either contain the memory of Jesus' students, Matthew and John, or are based on the memories of Jesus' students that were passed on to their followers. So, the telephone game. Even Luke's Gospel claims to be based on the testimony of those who were eyewitnesses from the beginning. And again, we're using the book to prove that the book has evidence for its circular reasoning. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to go to the next one where we learn when they were written down, because that is kind of important.